And today in this video we're going to discuss about basically the concept of immunity in the viruses. Why the concept of immunity in the viruses? First of all, I'll make sure that what is immunity. So immunity is basically the capacity of the living individual to resist against pathogen, any infection, any injury or allergy. एंड एक इंडिविजुअल की कैपेसिटी होती है वो कैसे अपने आप को रोकता है टू रेजिस्ट अगेंस्ट किससे पैथोजन से इन्फेक्ट से राइट हियर to resist against any pathogen, infection, allergies, or we can say any viruses. So yeah, against pathogen. Here I'm going to write only the pathogen. So it can be any pathogen. Fine. So now let me discuss about the immunity furthermore. The immunity is basically divided into two types. Here, if I can highlight, immunity is divided into two types. One is basically innate immunity and other is adaptive immunity. One is innate immunity and second is adaptive immunity. One is innate immunity and other is adaptive immunity. So first of all, in the innate immunity is basically the immunity which is from born, like inborn, present since birth. Since birth, and this is non-specific. Now what does this word non-specific mean? Non-specific basically means it can, we can say it can work against any pathogen. Either it can be virus, it can be any infection, it cannot be any specific. This immunity will only kill this one cells like this. So no, it kills every cell. Okay, so this is basically another way of adaptive immunity. So this is basically what is specific. It will kill the target cells. Specific, and this is basically during our growth it is present. During our growth, here we can survive, like different pathogens are here. So yeah, during our growth. Fine. So now here innate immunity is basically further divide into, we can say inborn, sorry, we can say further divide into inborn or congenital. Oh shit. Further divide into inborn, yeah, congenital. Congenital is also the disease which is from come from mother to fetus from the birth, like that. Okay, so here we have different type of barriers. Number one is, we can say, nomical physical barrier. Second is basically physiological. Third we have basically which is phagocytic. And fourth we have which is cytokine. Here I'm going to write fourth, which is cytokine barrier. Well, so these are some barriers which are present. So this we can say, now let's discuss each barrier in further more detail. So first of all, in the autonomic physical barrier, it includes skin. Okay, skin, the you can say physical barrier, and this skin is physical barrier, and this is what, this is waterproof. Skin is basically waterproof and pathogen proof. It will not allow any pathogen or water to enter inside the skin. Waterproof and pathogen proof. Now let's discuss the first layer of the skin, which is epidermis. So epidermis, we have what here? We have tissues which are stratified epithelial tissues. In the epidermis first layer, tissues are present which are stratified epithelial tissues. Okay, and if I do talk about the second, we can say layer of the skin, which is dermis. So in the dermis, what we will get in the dermis, we have basically glands, like we have sebaceous glands, or we have fat, sebum, and this sebum fat is basically highly acidic, which prevent the pathogen growth. Okay, acidic. So the best example of this physical, autonomic physical can be, we can say air wax, the wax which is present in the air, we do not allow the pathogen to enter into air. And we have furthermore about the mucous membrane. Here we have mucosa membrane. Mucosa membrane basically what? Mucosa membrane, they create mucus. They create mucus, and which trap the pathogen. Do not allow pathogen to move inside. Trap the pathogen. Okay, so after that it is clear to you guys. Now we should go with second barrier, which is physiological barrier. So here I'm going to hear physiological barrier. So in the physiological barrier, we have what? We have basically fever. As you can see, fever is included. Body temperature. If a body temperature increases, so how body temperature is rise, and when body temperature is rise, so as we know that pathogen do not work on the high temperature, so they are basically killed on that time. And HCl have basically highly acidic pH, so on that pH the pathogen do not work properly. So third we have what? Phagocytic barrier. Phagocytic barrier. Now in this, what is there? In this we have macrophages, which are basically the macrophages, and we have natural killer cells, which are NK cells. And this NK cells, I would say G granulocytes. These NK cells are granulocytes. Okay, and like we can say lymphocytes are there. So lymphocytes are basically divided into two types. One is agranulated, another is granulated. So these are agranulated. Fine, I hope this is clear. Now we should move with the last barrier, which is cytokine barrier. So let me discuss here cytokine barrier. So in the cytokine barrier, we have basically, here you can see here interferons are involved. Now what is the work of interferons? Interferons basically, we can say give signal to other cells that I am infected, you can prevent yourself. Okay, give the cell signaling molecule. The question can be arises, which is the cell signaling molecule? So that is interferons. Fine. Now in this, what we have? In this we have glycoprotein, which is passed to the agental agents cells. And these agent cells, what these do? What they do? The activity which inhibit, and the agent cells basically what they do when they got the signal, the adjacent cells can resist against pathogen. They now have activated, they can resist themselves against the pathogen. So I hope this basic concept of immunity is clear to you guys. In the next video, I'll give you the, okay, let me tell you about the adaptive immunity. And let's discuss here adaptive immunity. Fine. So adaptive immunity is basically the immunity which is during our growth, and it can be, we can say, artificial or natural. And artificial in the case of vaccine, or natural which our body is making antibodies. Now, okay, so here for suppose this is the, we can say, why here virus come, and this virus basically here interferons release the signal interferons to what, to the adjacent cells to inhibit or to resist against pathogen. And who will kill these, we can say, in virally infected cells. So virally infected cells are basically killed by NK cells, which is natural killer cells. Killed by NK cells, natural killer cells. Okay, let me tell you somehow about the blood here also. So yeah, here for suppose here we have blood, and blood is divided into two types. Here I told you in the circulation too. One is plasma, and other is basically cell. And here in the cell we have RBC, WBC, and platelets. Okay, and this WBC can be agranulated or granulated. So I hope till that it is clear to you guys. In the next video, we're gonna discuss how virus survive inside the host cell. Till that, bye bye.